Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be presenting on AsteXT or exploring Asian American literature through technology. I'm Rose Simons and I'm here presenting with Anric, Carly, and Brittany, my team members. So continuing on. So you might ask, what is AsteXT? Well, AsteXT is a research project that connects technology with Asian American literature. We focus on short stories published between 1974 and 2024. We aim to understand how Asian American experiences impact authors' linguistic changes and choices through an extensive database of metadata. And our research will be publicized to encourage study in a growing but understudied field. So this summer, we have been working in tandem with the Data Plus team, who has used natural language processing like word embeddings and other techniques to create an extensive database of metadata for these short stories. And our team has been developing the public web application to store this data in a searchable database with customizable visualizations. So you might ask, why would we create a database if databases already exist for Asian American short stories? Well, our stakeholder realized that uh, there was a need for more extensive metadata and centralized database for these short stories. Most of these databases that already exist also include the full text of the stories and therefore violate some copyrighted laws and would not be public. Our goals for this app for the public was to allow users without technical experience to learn more about Asian American literature. For scholars, we want to allow researchers to make connections about the data in these short stories. And for administrators, we want to allow maximum flexibility in creating or editing the data without any technological experience. Sorry about that.
Yes, but I guess speaking about the developmental process, what was supposed to show up here was just like kind of like how we like develop the process, develop our web app basically first through learning how to use our tech stack. It really hasn't here.
Yeah.
We're having some technical
Our tech stack consists of a bunch of different various technologies that we use. So to build our backend, we used a framework called Ruby on Rails, and we learned a different programming language called Ruby to learn that. And for the front end, we used React and JavaScript. And for formatting and styling, we also used HTML and Tailwind CSS. And to build our database, we obviously used Ruby on Rails, and with that, a Postgres SQL database, and to manage our code and work together and get our website up and running, we used Docker and GitLab. Awesome. So our challenges, one of the main challenges that we faced was that neither of us had any prior experience with web development. And so this was a great learning opportunity for us to learn different programming languages, learn different frameworks, and understand how it all comes together. And another issue or another challenge for us was when we were initially making the database, we had made it so that the admin side of our website wasn't able to add or delete columns. So the columns of metadata that we had were kind of fixed there. But we heard from our stakeholder that this was something that we wanted to implement, and we wanted to give admin the opportunity to be able to make edits to the column structure of the database. And so then we went ahead and kind of modified the way our backend looked like using JSON bdata to be able to rebuild our database and allow for that dynamic adding and deleting of columns. Awesome. So now moving on to the next slide, which is another key priority for us was having an accessible front end, right? Given the fact that most of our users are people who don't have a lot of like specific technical experience, and we want it to be accessible to all people, we really prioritize the user experience first through designing wireframes and mockups, and then implementing it through a front end with easy to use navigation bars and charts and visualizations that you'll see in a bit, having an additional sidebar with extra navigation, just so it's very easy and seamless for users to be able to click through the website and get access to the information that they want. And also a search page, which you'll see just in a second, that has many different filters for users to be able to find exactly what they're looking for and discover different things. If you look at the QR code right there, you can scan it and look at our website, or you can go to the link below, astext.test.oit.duke.edu, and take a look at the website on your own time and feel free to explore and see how it looks like. Awesome. Now moving on to the search page and browse functionality of the app. So as you can see here, it allows for advanced metadata search as well as filtering, right? So you can click on the filters like, oh, I want to just see authors, and maybe I want to see authors with the name Lee. And that'll update for you authors with the name Lee, and you can click around, see who you want to find. The entities also have a good preview, so you're able to kind of see a bit of the data. If you have a story, you're able to see who the author is and what journal it belongs to without having to click on it. So again, we wanted that user experience aspect of it. And we also have a state preservation for the ease of user experience. So you don't have to keep reloading and putting things in again. And then moving on to the next slide, which is what happens once you do click on one of those entities. So you are given an entity page, as you can see here, and from there you can click on, you can further explore the entities that are linked to it. So here in this title, you can click on the journal, you can click on the URL, and be able to kind of explore the literature and all the things that it's connected to. And we also have an easy navigation back to a state preserved search page so that you're able to easily go through the website and flow through it with an easy user experience.
So moving on to the data browse section of our website, this has a classic spreadsheet view where the user can scroll through the titles of the story along with the year and the URL. The title is hyperlinked to the metadata, and the URL will take you to the journal that holds each of the stories. This is good for alternative data accessibility. Next, I'm going to talk about the visualizations aspect of our website. So this is the homepage for the visualizations. As you can see at the top, you click visualize and it will take you to this page where you can view the timeline or the network graph. So this is our timeline. As you can see here, you can swipe through the stories and the literature events. You can filter by the story or the event and the story title, along with the year range. The year range will be the publication date for the stories and the date of the event for the events. Our next visualization feature is the network graph. This is really nice because the user can visually connect the journals to the story titles to the authors. And again, we have a nice filtering method where you can filter by author, journal, story title, and event. We also have a feature where the user can download this. And then we have a legend that is color-coded so it's easily accessible.
So now I'll be discussing some of the administrator features in the backend for updating and editing the database. So the first feature I would like to show off is importing data through the CSV. This is how the administrators can just bring data from like the stories, authors, journals, and events to the database. So if I play this, you can see they're going to try to add in some events. So they're going to click event, and then they're going to select a file of events. Typically, the admin would use this download CSV template to kind of see how they're supposed to put in their data, and then they'll be able to upload that. And as you'll see, in just a moment, they're going to upload the data, confirm that they do want to do it, and it'll populate right here. Next, here is the screen for editing the entities. So you can see the admin is going to edit this entity, Culture Revolution. They're going to remove that start date. And then over here, you can kind of see how we can link different entities together using this UI. So you can see the Cultural Revolution is connected to Amy Wong and Ariel Chu. And then they're able to save this, and these changes will populate.
Finally, here is our last demo. This is editing data columns. So not only can the administrators, they can edit the data that's inside the database, they can also edit how it should be formatted. So you can see here that events right now are going to have a name, which they are required to have, and a year, which is not required. But there's also a start year and end year column that's hidden from the public view. So what they're going to do is that they're going to make year required, and they're going to make start and end year visible to the public. Because it's a big change, there's a save schema confirm button. They're going to probably take some time to think about this, and then they'll press OK, and it'll update that. So kind of a look behind the scenes here is just kind of like how our database is structured. So you can see essentially anything that we consider like a data row is kind of stored in this entities column, and we are using JSONs and JSONsB to store all of that data. And essentially the columns, like you saw earlier on this last screen, that is detailed here in this schema's data table over on the bottom right. The uploads for CSV are stored in this uploads table, and the links are stored in the links table. Of course, administrators have their own user table, and then we are tracking all the changes to the entities into the schemas using this changelogs table. So to conclude, AsteXT is a dynamic database that stores metadata of Asian American stories from the years 1974 to 2024. We were able to implement a highly dynamic JSON database that not only allows administrators to edit specific data rows and entities, but also the data columns or the properties. Our website for the public view includes searching and browsing, visualizations through both a timeline and a network graph, and data exportation for the public. So we're going to continue this project through BAS Connections, which is a research project program here at Duke. And some things we would like to work on for the website include more extensive searching and filtering features, more visualizations. I think our stakeholders suggested a geospatial visualization, so like associating our stories with certain places, as well as more website optimization and accessibility. Of course, we have some people to acknowledge, so these include our stakeholders, Yihui Zhou and Matthew Hayes, our team leads, Harry Thacker and Noah Holmes, who have helped us so much with developing our website, our associate Data Plus team, the Code Plus administrators, Jen Visas and Sherry Tibbs, as well as our assigned Code Plus student ambassador, Kieran Burr. Thank you all, and if you have any questions, now is the time to ask.